2. You've seen the results from Moto 1. You've seen the track we're going to do battle on. There's one other factor out here, certainly the heat. It's probably about 100 degrees down here right now. So that recovery that you mentioned between motos, they've already done this once, and now they've got to find even more energy for the second moto.
Now, I've walked to the starting line for the second moto and seen stars before, and you're thinking, man, I gotta go out and race for 35 minutes? How in the world am I going to do this? But when the gate drops, it's just amazing how your body responds.
Mike Alessi got that bad start in Moto 1, was never really able to recover from that. Can he get back to his patented whole shot style here in Moto number 2? Let's find out. We go racing here on Speed.
Looks good.
Well, Alessi's on the outside, but they're going to get edged out again by Metcalf in a big pileup in the first turn. Trying to figure out, I think you're right, David, I think that's Ben Townley, third in Moto 1, down in the first turn. Slow to get up, too. It looked like he got run over. Oh, man, Chad Reed doing a nice job to close out Ryan Dungey on the inside, but again, Metcalf and Alessi. Yeah, this is 4 big hitters. Metcalf, who was up front in Moto 1, then Alessi, Reed, Dungey. Throw a blanket over these guys early. Alessi able to maintain that. I thought Reed had him covered. Alessi's able to get that second place spot under wraps, and now go after Metcalf, who was strong early in Moto 1, but faded back to 7th late. Now I figured for Metcalf, he got a taste of what it's like to run up front in that first moto, and he dropped all the way back to 7th before the moto end. I think he can do better than that this time. He's in shape, and I think he might have been a little nervous. This time, I think he'll have a little bit better shot at staying up there, at least in the top 5. Interesting battle shaping up here. Second and third, Alessi versus Reed. And by the way, Short has gotten around Dungey to move it forward. Oh, Alessi almost threw it away. We saw him almost crash there in the first moto. Feet off the pegs. It's a real sandy section right there. And you know, you see Villopoto, you know, back when he wished he could be out here. Can you imagine how much better that would be? But Villopoto, a lot of times, so secure with what he's doing in the line he's in. He doesn't care if his feet are on the pegs or not, and that's what Mike was doing right there. That was no big deal. Here's Dungey trying to come back on Short, who's battling out Reed. So Short, we mentioned how fresh he is. He didn't get to race that first moto, as Aaron mentioned, because they couldn't get the bike started. So he's all full of energy right now. Look at this. Wow. Going after Reed, and Short's got the fans on his side, too, because he lives, trains here in Texas, and he's got the spot. Oh, you know he's motivated and fresh. But the thing is other than the sight lap they just took, it's been a long time since he saw that track. So to try to nail the setup with suspension and tires and all that stuff, you know, it's a little bit more difficult to sit around all that time than come out and just hit the ground running. More company. Kyle Regal, another Texan, challenging Dungey. These guys are not messing around. They don't care that Reed and Dungey have all these big championships under their belt. It's early in the moto, and it's go time. First moto being a little bit smoother than Reed would like, but man, it's rough now. And the water they put down, that's starting to get mixed in already, so. Oh, that's a bad line by Reed on the outside, and Dungey's just going to calmly walk through on the inside line, take that spot. Can Reed get him back? No. And we've seen this time and time again from Reed outdoors. It just seems like it takes him a few laps to get that fire lit. That's what happened in Moto 1. Yeah, I think he's more comfortable on the racetrack right now, though. Lots of lines to choose from, a little rougher, so it won't take him as long this time. And he knows the way Dungey rode that first moto, he's got to stay with him. If he lets him go, he may never see him again. There's no way Reed wants to give that kind of momentum back to the man who won the AMA Supercross Championship just about a month ago. So Reed's got to try to stay with him, although he's got more company from Regal. Look at Regal. I know it. Challenging last year's champ. It's all sorts of mixed up here in Texas as Brent Metcalf tries to get away and Mike Alessi tries to chase him down. What about Ryan Dungey going for the overall? There's so much to watch here in Texas. You got to stay with us. You don't know what's going to happen. It's hot in many ways here in Freestone. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Texas Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. The 24 of Brent Metcalf leading very early in this moto over Mike Alessi and Andrew Short. And we don't know what strategy these guys are playing. Metcalf had a spectacular early first moto and then faded back, so you wonder how much energy he's got. Mike Alessi struggled the entire first moto. You wonder how much energy he has. And Andrew Short, who's in third, didn't even race the first moto due to mechanical trouble, so you figure he might be the strongest, but as they're racing, adrenaline takes over. Really hard to predict. I think what happened to Metcalf was he was just fighting off Dungey
you know, then Townley, then Reed. He had so many guys lined up on him. He never got a chance to really get in that flow. He always had pressure. I think he might have just gotten tight, you know. And when you get tight, man, you can't ride aggressive. So this time, he knows what that feels like, and I think he's going to be much better suited. Like the little waves hopping into those braking bumps. And when you're doing stuff like that, you're comfortable.
Well, I'll tell you who's comfortable here. The man in second, Mike Alessi, who won this race last year. Terrible first moto. This is his chance to rebound and try to get himself another win on a track he really likes.
A lot of riders think that they go to that race just trying to survive the weekend, but man, I look forward to it being so hot and humid like that. And it's like, it's a joy to me. I mean, you see it on my face. I'm just excited just thinking about Texas because I know there's going to be guys just thinking, oh man, I could do this weekend. But for me, man, I look forward to it. Just the adrenaline rush that I'm going to get going in that first turn aggressive and just trying to battle for 35 minutes and the blistering hot, you know, summer heat and humidity. I mean, it's going to be a knockdown drag out there in the brutal sun. So I look forward to it.
Well, he was looking forward to it until the first moto when he had trouble, and it's not going so well here in Moto 2. He just got zapped by Andrew Short. And since Short lives in Texas, he probably doesn't mind the blazing sun either. And he just made that pass.
Yeah, Short's looking really good. It's not just the start that enables him to run up front here. He's running up front because he's got the speed to do it, making his pass on Alessi, and may be able to win this moto. And, you know, there's probably a couple guys that are going to start doing a little math when they start getting real hot and tired going, yeah, I don't need to beat Short this moto. Let him have it. We're already got 25 points on him in that first moto and start sorting things out between themselves for the overall.
And with Short in second, a battle brewing for third between the 800 and Alessi and the 5 of Dungey. And then it's Regal, who's staying close to Dungey. They've got some room on Reed. Look at Alessi trying to come back on Short now on the outside. Scrubbing it over the top of that.
That's where he fell in the first moto, and I just think in the first moto, not getting the start, getting in a hurry, trying to get through the pack, he was just maybe thinking a little bit too much, just out of his usual routine, and a couple of mistakes, one of them coming right there in that corner, and then another one later where he fell off, and this moto he's got that all sorted out.
What has gotten into Alessi, not only is he taking second back, but he is on the verge of grabbing the lead. He is all over Metcalf.
It's time to go. He knows, you know, believe me, these guys, they don't have rear view mirrors.
It's time to go. I hate to cut you off, but he's got the lead. Hey, if you cut off Metcalf, I guess I could cut off David Bailey. So Alessi in the lead.
These guys don't have rear view mirrors, but it would seem like it. You wouldn't believe the peripheral and what these guys notice. He sees Dungey back there. He knows he was fast in the first moto, so he's trying to get out right now and try to pull a lead before Reed or Dungey work their way up into a position to perhaps challenge him.
Now, in this game, there's not a lot of pacing. These guys will pretty much go nearly as fast as they can all the way. But do you think there's a chance that some of the guys will hold back and Alessi decided, forget that, I'm going to go for it despite the heat, despite the rough as that? Maybe a factor? Is it a marathon versus a sprint right now?
I think right now all these guys are sprinting.
Okay.
You know, and you got Reed as the caboose of this lead train. These guys are all going fast, and I think if there's any kind of pacing or anything like that going on, it's only just getting accustomed to the track. It's been a while since they've seen it. There's been a different moto, and then the women racing on it. Lines are changed, but once they get comfortable with the way the track's bermed up, they're going to be going all out.
So this is more of a matter of Alessi figuring out the lines than it is everyone saving their energy and him using his energy.
Yeah, Alessi is so used to leading races that, you know, he finds berms and lines and his aggression right away, where a guy like Chad Reed goes, no, I'll take my time. I'll end up front where I want to be eventually. Alessi, you know, if you look at his career, he's used to leading races early on, and this is where he wants to be. But he's got company.
Yeah, Short is all over Metcalf for second. Dungey right behind him. Regal right behind Dungey. And lurking, but I wouldn't say challenging yet, is Reed.
Reed can still see these guys, so he's not panicking. A lot like the way Purcell rides. Like, you know, yeah, Tomac, all these guys are fast, but, you know, they're not getting away from me. I'll see them later. Plus, you know, when they put down a little bit of water on the track, there's some places where if you're following close, you get splattered. Right. Yeah, it's just annoying. So he's just going, oh, I'm going to stay out of the roost, let these guys go out there and get it out of their system, and then make my move later. It worked in the first moto.
Now Dungey putting pressure on